scary stories Reddit thread. Strange encounter in the woods. Okay, so this is from the Reddit thread, True Scary Stories. They're supposed to be true, like I said last time. We'll see what we think. The author of the story is Do Weather. is from Thought Commercial 8334. I was just a kid. I was just a kid, but the fear still follows me. That sounds scary. I don't know why I still remember these things so clearly. I must have been 7 or 8. The first time it happened, it was just a normal day. Me, my dad, and his friend had gone out with the friend's family. We were new in town, and they were the only people we knew. We were walking somewhere together, and I remember holding onto someone's shirt thinking it was my dad. I was walking behind him totally zoned out, but not just daydreaming. It felt like I was in a trance, like I couldn't see anything clearly. Everything was black. And then the black faded. I snapped out of it. I woke up, and when I looked up, I realized I wasn't holding my dad's shirt. I was holding a stranger's, some random man I've never seen before. I looked back. My dad was far behind me, walking casually with the others, completely unaware that I wasn't even with them anymore. Panic hit me like a truck. I let go and ran back to my dad. No one even noticed I was gone. I didn't say a word about what happened. When we got home, I just laid on my mother's lap. She asked me what was wrong, but I couldn't sleep. I was terrified. And what haunts me the most to this day is that the man never turned around. He never asked who I was, never reacted to a child holding his clothes. What if I hadn't realized in time? What could he have done? Another time, maybe a year later, I was walking to a nearby shop during the day. It was bright outside, a lot of people around. The shop was about 20 minutes away, and I was used to walking there. But halfway through, I felt something off, like someone was following me. I looked back, and there she was, a woman, just staring straight into my eyes. She didn't look away. Her presence felt wrong. My gut told me I was in danger. I didn't think twice. I changed direction, walked onto another street, and then ran the whole way back home. I still don't know what she wanted, or if she was really after me. But I remember the look in her eyes, and that feeling in my gut that I was being hunted. These stories still follow me. Sometimes they flash in my mind out of nowhere. I was just a kid, but I felt everything. The danger, the eyes watching me, the silence of a stranger, the fear of being taken. People think kids don't understand the world, but I did. I saw the parts of it no child should ever see. That was pretty scary. I liked that last one the best, I think. Here's a response. When I was a kid, 4, in the mall with my mom, I was off looking at stuff, and when I turned around, I couldn't see my mom anymore. I panicked. I was so afraid. Suddenly, I saw my mom just a few yards away with her back to me looking at a display. Well, I marched over to her and told her that I thought of her disappearing on me. As much as my 4-year-old self could, then she turned around and it was not my mom. I had no idea what the stranger said or did after I had screamed and yelled at her. But my mom, watching just a few feet away, thought the look of shock on my face was hilarious and had enjoyed reminding me of the story since. Another person said, I had a small experience once. At an amusement park, I got stuck holding the gate, but my mom and bro didn't notice and they walked off. What really hurt was when I caught up to them, they told me not to walk off.